guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to have another bit more of a play with my cutesy kit. I have decided to call it Dr. Dolittle's Diary. I struggled to come up with a name, so I've finally come up with a name. So I've just stuck one or two more bits into the journal since we played last time. So basically I have popped this piece in here, and obviously as you can see I've added some doily down there. And then on the facing page, I just popped a little tiny kind of, more like a glue book, I suppose, kind of down here. Then on the next page, what I'm going to try and do in this one is actually kind of do one page with a piece on it and one page kind of more blank, so that you've got lots and lots of room for journaling. And obviously I'm going to kind of go over these bits more with paint, you know, and or plainer paper as we go through, but that's the plan at the moment. On those plainer pages I probably won't be able to keep them quite plain, so I will probably add something kind of somewhere. So as you can see on this one, I just took one of those kind of border strips from the kind of kit and just tore it a little bit, and kind of, I'll just show you, just one of these pieces, and I just tore it round a little bit and popped it up there. And that matches obviously the pocket that's kind of the other side. So I just thought that tied it in really nicely. So yeah, I will probably do things like that, but leaving the bulk of the page plain. So that's as far as I've got so far. Might add a bit of lace on here, I'm not sure. And then this was the one that we just kind of added a couple of bits to last time. As you can see, I've just kind of tucked it in here as a kind of pocket. So moving on, I have got this piece here. Now what I've done is I just inked around it very lightly using this one. So I've been really enjoying lately getting my old kind of ink pads that, you know, I really haven't used them for a really long time. So this one is Salty Ocean, and it's the most gorgeous kind of vivid blue colour. So I just thought that would really look pretty because it kind of picks up the bird. So I've just inked that very lightly around the edge. And again, this is more of that kind of card that I took from that scrapbook. So again, I kind of just tore these there so it looks a bit more kind of interesting. And I'm just going to glue that in as a kind of tuck spot down here. So that's kind of that. And then on the facing page, I might just pop a ruffle on there somewhere, because again, the ruffle just kind of picks up those pretty colours from here. So I think that's all I'm going to kind of do on that page. So I'll just cut a couple of those threads off. Like that. So I'll probably have that up there, I think. So just going to hot glue this one down. And again, I mean, I'm just going to use hot glue because it's nice and quick. And, you know, when you're doing a video, you don't want to be kind of doing something that's going to take hours to dry. You know, because you want to be kind of quickish for people watching. So just pop it down like that. So I hope everyone's having a good day. And as I always kind of say, managing to get some crafting in somewhere always makes a day better, doing a bit of crafting. There you go. I seem to have loads of different projects on the go at the moment. I've said this recently, but I don't know quite how I've got into this, but I used to literally do kind of one thing at a time, finish that, and then I'm just going to check that I'm in frame because I'm off the edge here. I used to do one project at a time, finish it, you know, and then move on to the other one. And I don't really know how I've got into the situation of suddenly doing multiple projects, but I'm not sure it's necessarily a good thing, to be honest. But nonetheless, that's how I seem to have kind of gone. So I'm kind of rolling with it. But it's probably not great because obviously my videos now, I'm aware, are jumping around. But having said that, some people have fed back that they like the variety of videos, you know, because then, I mean, if you're not interested, for instance, you know, in this journal, because I realise it wouldn't be everybody's cup of tea, then at least, you know, hopefully it will be interspersed with some other kind of different subjects. Right, so I'm happy with that page like that. This page, obviously I haven't got a piece in there yet, so I'll just kind of move that over. Now on this one, I've just made a little kind of envelope pocket, as you can see there. So I'm just going to kind of pop this somewhere. Now I'll have to decide which page I want it to go on. So, and what I've done with these pages is I've glued them together so they're kind of double thickness. I like doing that because then they're kind of nice and thick to be able to hold the embellishments. I haven't done that with all of them. The pages kind of more at the beginning of the book I've left as singles, but what I will do is obviously paint over them a little bit more, but they will be just kind of journaling pages. They won't particularly be embellished, but I might kind of just glue the odd kind of image on there. But the rest of the pages that are going to be embellished, I have doubled them up so that they're nice and thick. So, you know, they're not kind of flimsy when they've got embellishments kind of popped on there. So I probably have it on that side, although I don't want them all to be on that side, if you see what I mean. So perhaps we should switch it round. Decisions again. Well, I guess they're not all going to be on that side, because I mean that one is on this one. But maybe I would prefer to have this gorgeous deer on here. I love that deer. So cute, isn't he? Just really cute. Now, just deciding, do I want to pop some string around him? I do like using string, as you know. Now, I'm just having a look through my stash to the side to see whether I've got some baker's twine here, but it's quite thick. But I quite like sometimes using the baker's twine if there's some coloured one. So just going to run over to my shelf unit, be very quick, just to see whether I've got some thinner. So, right, I'm back. So I actually have got this baker's twine, which, as you can see, is, or you know, hopefully you can see, this one's a lot thinner. So I just kind of, I've never even used this one. I've had it for years. I think it came in a little set of, I don't know, 4 or something like that. But I have used most of the colours, but this must have been one that I haven't used yet. So can't find the end to get it started, and obviously I'm just rushing because I'm on camera. Right, here we go. How not to unravel your twine, but I may well put it on a kind of ribbon spool in a moment, or not in a moment, but when I finish the video, so it doesn't really matter how I've kind of opened it. There we go. Oh, that's cute, isn't it? So just get that kind of a bit longer. It just kind of adds a little bit more to that. So again, I'll just glue that on at the back. Like that. Oh, so sweet. And then while I'm waiting for that to dry, so I'll just move that kind of to one side. We'll wait for that to dry. We'll kind of go on to another page. So, and I've said before, I tend to do these pages kind of quite randomly. So, you know, that's what I'm doing here, is just jumping around a bit. So we've got this one here where I've made this kind of pocket. So I'll just trim that down like that. I'm just going to trim it down here at the side. Okay. So this is now a double pocket. I just move that out of the way. You see, I'm tempted to just keep this because they may want to use it, but perhaps I should just be ruthless and get rid of it, but I'm not sure yet. So let's just have a look. I've got obviously some of that lovely pink lace again, which I've now not used obviously for a few pages. So, you know, we could incorporate some of that somewhere, or maybe kind of on the facing page. Again, I'm just drawn to the right-hand page. I don't know why that is, but perhaps we'll pop this on this page instead. Let's have a look, and then we can pop that one down there. I just don't want it all to be on the right-hand side, which, you know, I don't know why I'm doing that, but for some reason it's all going on the right-hand side at the moment. So I'm just quickly rummaging through my pieces that I've got kind of beside me. So here I've got some more of that kind of strip, so I'm just going to cut that out. Got a couple of little stamps here. Just cut those out as well. These are just on copy paper, these pieces, which obviously these were kind of when I was actually printing to kind of make sure it was coming together as I wanted, but I'm actually using them here because on these sides where I'm kind of not overly embellishing, it's quite nice to use just the copy paper, because obviously then they're just nice and flimsy and thin to be gluing on. They're not bulking it out kind of further. So that's why I'm kind of, you know, persevering and kind of going with them really. So I'm tearing down the whole strip. I don't know whether I'm wanting the whole strip. I don't know whether I'll even want any of it in the end, but you know, if we kind of get started like that, then we can kind of go from there. So just tear that piece. What I wondered whether we could just have that kind of running down the side with the lace kind of over it. And then what we could do is pop on, got that butterfly that I'd already fussy cut the other day, and then that kind of ties the two pages together, which, you know, I really like that. So I might do that, and that way I don't even have to tear down that side because it's going to be hidden by the lace trim. So I'm going to just glue that on. Like that. Okay. Yeah, it's quite nice to do something different, you know, kind of fun colours and patterns and what have you. I mean, as I say, the intention really was to kind of have this kit similar in colour and feel to a, you know, a kid's book. So hopefully that's kind of, you know, how it looks. So get the ribbon, the lace, sorry, down here, down the edge. So again, I'll just hot glue the lace on, and then it's, you know, nice and instant. Love this bright pink coloured lace. It's gorgeous, isn't it? There we go. Right. So that's on there. I'll just hold that down. So I feel like I want something else going on here. So just having another quick look through the pieces, just to see whether we could kind of have anything else kind of on there. We've got this piece here. Let's just cut that one out. And then what I also did was on that other page, I just kind of fussy tore around this piece here that's on that coin envelope, and then used that, you know, as a kind of plain backdrop. So just going to kind of see whether we could incorporate that. You know, we might be able to, we might not. We'll just see how that would look. Because again, obviously, you know, then you've got some plain kind of purple here, you know, for writing on, which is then, you know, kind of covering up some of that imagery on that page. And then let's just cut this one out and see whether we may want this. These bits of rubbish in my carrier bag. It's on the wrong side because I'm going to lose all my pretty bits unless we had it up there. Or we could have this, I guess, on that side. Have it kind of going over there. Just have a look. And then we've got those little postage stamps, which let's just have a look. Okay. I mean, these are very tiny, so I'm not being too worried about how I cut this, because it could just be my eyesight now as I'm getting older. My eyesight's obviously getting worse, but I don't feel that, you know, you can kind of see too much where the flowers kind of end. So, you know, I'm not kind of worrying too much around those edges. Just wondering whether we could kind of have something like that, or maybe, oh, I'm not sure now. Maybe we should have that here. Maybe the butterfly here. Oh, I'm not sure. I've also got that lovely lilac doily piece, which I used this obviously on an earlier page as well. So we'll just kind of tie that, tear that, sorry. Maybe without that. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. It's tricky, this one. I'm just kind of now having another look through, seeing what else I've got. What else I've got? I've got this strip. I wonder whether we could have this strip down the edge. So again, actually, I'll just tear this again. Then just cut that down. Just cut it down because I'm thinking it could go kind of butt up to the edge of the page, but obviously if that, oops, that doesn't look right, then I can always tear it further out. So let's try that. Okay. I'm going to just remove these for a moment because I'm not sure whether they're kind of, you know, throwing me off a little bit. So try that there, could have it up there. No, I quite like it running down the edge like that. So I'm just going to kind of tear it at the bottom so as it's not got that kind of, you know, sharp edge to it. So I'm going to glue this on. I'm really enjoying making this book because I said on the last video I haven't done an altered book for ages, and I'm not quite sure why. You know, I love doing the altered books, but we just get kind of, you know, on a roll of kind of doing what we're doing, and then kind of almost forget what we've done before. And yeah, for some reason I just haven't done one for a really long time, and it's really quite nice to go back and revisit and do one again. So let's just check how I want this, which way round. Okay, so I quite like it like that. So I might glue the doily down. Just trying to, you know, commit to some of the decisions here. Sometimes I find it helps, you know, to kind of just glue the odd thing down, even if kind of, you know, you're a bit undecided, because once you've kind of made that commitment, the rest of the page has to work around those bits that I've kind of stuck down. So, you know, and to be honest, sometimes you kind of stick things down and I wish that I hadn't, and I think, oh, I wish I hadn't put that there. But, you know, you can always make it work. It's not kind of the end of the world, because, you know, you may have a momentary thing of thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't stuck that there, but I think you can always kind of then, you know, manage to get it to work. So I don't think it's ever kind of the end of the world, really. Right. As I have it up at the top. No, that's very odd, I think, isn't it? Right. So I'm going to glue this down, and I'm going to put this down as a kind of pocket. So again, just using the hot glue because it's nice and quick on camera. Like that. Okay, so we've got then a side pocket there, and obviously we've got our two pockets here. So lots of pockets going on there. Just get that piece of hot glue that was kind of seeping out there. Okay, so that looks cute. Now I've also brought along these flowers that, again, I've had these in my stash for years and years and years, but I just thought colour wise these were quite good with this kit, because they're quite bright and colourful, but they're kind of got a washed out, you know, a bit like the watercolour flowers, I thought. So I may add one of those there now. Just having a look. What I might do is cut this here, and then I might just try cutting it in half and see, you know, how that would look on those pockets. Haven't ever cut this particular lace in half, so, you know, it may or may not look okay. Oh yeah, that's nice, isn't it? And then we could have the butterfly and the little flower. Okay, so I like that. Didn't make a very good job of cutting that, so I'm just going to trim that piece off that just didn't look very good there. Okay, so again, I'll just hot glue this down because then it's, you know, it's quick and it's then stuck firmly. So I'll just pop that on there. Okay, and then pop this one down. There's a bit that was not very straight again on this one. Again, just cut that piece off. And then again, just using the hot glue for speed. Just pop that down there. Oops. Okay, and then I really like this flower, so I'm just going to pop that one down there. Okay. Oh, isn't that sweet? Okay, so oops, oh, that's a thread from over on the other page. Right, so do we want the blue butterfly over here? Do we want the postage stamp anywhere? I'm just going to stand up and see how it looks through the camera, because again, looking down kind of from a height can sometimes look quite different. Well, I always think more is more, to be honest, so I'm going to pop this down. So, there we go. And I'm just going to stick the butterfly kind of, you know, leaving his wings flapping a bit. Not too much, but just so they're a little bit loose. Like that. Oh, gorgeous. So, you know, that whole double page spread, and it's now got kind of continuity between the two pages. So if we go back to this one here. So just working out where this was going. It's going on here, I think. So I'm just going to kind of keep my pages down with that. Now, if I open this up, and then just kind of, it folds down. So this is one of those Creative Cafe Girl inspired pieces. Now, you can probably see it's got slight kind of marks here. That was on there, unfortunately, kind of in this scrapbook page, which is a bit of a shame, but, you know, just want to kind of point that out. So I'm going to now ink up around on the inside with that gorgeous blue, because it just then adds a bit more interest, really, to the inside. You know, when you unfold it. Isn't this the most lovely colour blue? Just love that colour. It's gorgeous. Right. And then I'll just fold it like that so that I can do where the crease is as well. There we go. Gorgeous. Now, do I want to ink the outside? Oh, decisions. I kind of don't think I do, strangely enough. But then if I don't, I can see just slightly where the blue is there. Does that matter? Not really, does it? I don't think it does. So that's that. And then we're going to tie this back up. Like that. Okay. Now, so again, I'm going to try and do, you know, one page with the embellishment, one page plain, other than obviously maybe, you know, one or two things just kind of glued on there. So again, we'll just see whether we want to kind of have anything coming out from behind, or, you know, whether we're just going to kind of glue it down naked. You know, what I mean by that is on its own. I quite like it with the purple coming out, because it really ties in with that purple teacup. So just tearing that down. Yeah, I like that. Okay, liking how that looks. So again, just kind of seeing what else we might pop on there. So just tear around here. These strips, which weirdly enough, when I was making the kit, I thought, oh, I'm not sure about those. They're actually proving to be very useful. So you know, it's funny how when you kind of sometimes create the kit, you can't quite necessarily picture how it's going to be used, you know, until you come to use it. And then, you know, you really see which bits are really useful and which bits, you know, you don't use so much. So to excuse my daughter if you can hear her. She's downstairs with my husband. Or I could have it kind of coming out here at the side. Oh, that's really nice, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to pop this piece down. So we just glue this on. Have it over a little bit, because ideally I want it kind of, you know, coming out behind here. So, oh, that looks really pretty. Yeah, definitely like these little border strips. So again, I'll kind of bear that in mind perhaps for future kits, you know, because although to be honest, just because it works in this one doesn't necessarily kind of follow through, because I don't know about you, but you know, different patterns or different styles of journal kind of lend themselves to different things working. So, you know, just because that's what's working here doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to be working elsewhere. So yeah, we'll see whether how useful they are in other journals. Right, I really like that. That looks really cute. So I'm going to glue that down again, probably on 3 sides there. And again, I'm just going to do that with the hot glue for speed. And I've said this before, I mean, even if then you don't use this as a pocket, if you stick them down as a pocket, you've always got the option, haven't you? So, you know, kind of, it's always good, I guess, to kind of stick them down as pockets, even if they then go unused, because then, you know, you've got that as an option. So, oh, I love how that looks. Really, really cute. Gorgeous. Right. Now, for this piece, I will either fill this in with, you know, just some paint, or, you know, maybe a little piece from the kit. I haven't quite decided. Yeah, haven't quite decided, so I'll come back to that piece. Now, I have got this little label here, which we could kind of have, well, let me just check. Oh, that's quite cute, isn't it? Or have I got kind of too much now on this page? Oh, again, just struggling with my making up my mind. Could have a piece of doily. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Now, do we want some lace going down the edge as well? Yeah, like that. Okay, so again, just going to kind of glue this down. I can tell I'm going to regret this when I come to kind of paint over these pages a bit more. I'm going to just think, now why didn't I do this before I'd glued anything down? The reason that I've done it this way round is because in the past I sometimes do paint a bit over the glued down papers, if you see what I mean. So here I would kind of maybe touch on to this purple. You know, so that was kind of where I was going with that and my thinking kind of with that in the first place. So hopefully that's still going to kind of work. I'm not so sure about the doily pieces, whether I would kind of paint over them or not, but I guess we'll see when it comes to it. So yeah, possibly a little tip there. You know, make sure you've done your painting beforehand. But I was excited to, you know, get on and do the journal. So that's where I was going with that. Right, I'm going to kind of try and put that on at a bit of a curve because I quite like that. Okay. Very cute. Very cute. Right. Off. Just leave it overhanging because I like that too. I just glue a bit more of that lace down here. Okay. Right, I really like how that looks. Looks very cute indeed. And again, once I've done the painting, I may glue that doily down a bit more, but I will probably do the painting first. So, loving how this is coming together. It's looking very cute and colourful, which, you know, I love colours. So, yeah, for me, this is super cute. Looking very, very cute. So, which page shall we do now? I like to kind of just jump about really and you know, kind of do different pages. So perhaps we will do this one. So, and I've just noticed this page is not very well glued together, so I'm just gluing that a bit more. Okay, right. So, as you can see, I've got this one here, so I'm just going to trim this off here at the top, like that. And I had left this hanging because I wondered whether I wanted this hanging off. So, if I just tear that, we can just then decide. I just thought that might look kind of cute, you know, hanging down. So that's why I'd left that. Okay. And as you can see, I haven't done that thing here, so I'm just going to do that like that. Just because I think that's a little bit more fun to have those kind of, you know, as if it's been torn out of the book. So, okay. Now, I will probably ink around this in the blue. Let me just go back to the one with the blue, kind of see how that's going to look. Now, do we think that looks cute? Or I have got some bright pink, so bear with me while I just get my bright pink ink pad. Now, I haven't used it for a while, so luckily it's there. I'm just wondering, you see, whether the bright pink may go better with this particular piece. So let's just try it out on a piece of the card. So I've just got a little bit of card here. As you can see, I've tested out the blue. So I'm just going to test out the pink. Oops. So that's how the pink would look. That's how the pink would look. That's how the blue would look. I think I might have to go for the pink, you know. Yeah. Yep, definitely the pink. So go back to the page that we pulled it out from, which I think was here. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm intending on having a couple of blank pages in here, but whether we actually make it to the blank pages or not, I don't know. But okay. It's very fun to get out some different coloured ink pads and use some different colours. So I would recommend kind of that, just to mix things up. It's a little bit fun, something nice to do that's a bit different, just to use, you know, different coloured inks, because, you know, I've said this before, I mean, I love the vintage photo and I love the whole, you know, vintage look. It's absolutely stunning, but, you know, it is nice to kind of do some other different things too, isn't it? So, you know, I am quite enjoying doing that. So I'm wondering about having it up here this time. Could have it kind of more that side and have a little pocket here. That might be quite nice. So again, do I want to kind of have anything poking out under it, or, you know, to the side or anywhere else? So I'll just chop this one down here. Okay. No, I don't think that looks quite right. So not that one, although we could have that one here maybe. Maybe that looks quite good opposite. Now I've dug out some ruffles to bring along, and now I can only find these green ones, which obviously doesn't really go with this particular page, but here we go. Oh, I dug out only kind of green ones actually. So I'm just looking in my jar. I don't think I've got any kind of pink ones. That's why. No, I don't think any of these kind of go on this page. So because I would have quite liked to have had a little ruffle going down there. I think that looks quite sweet, but yeah, it doesn't quite kind of go for me, so I'm not going to use that. But on here, I think I'm going to have a little flower, or maybe a couple of flowers. Got this gorgeous bright pink one, so I might have those. And I might just fussy cut something else and pop it on here. So let's glue this one down and kind of commit to that. Just deciding still whether to have anything coming out from beneath, basically, or whether to leave that plain for kind of painting. So let's have a look at this piece here. Actually, I've got these scraps that I just held on to the side. Let's just see whether... Oh, that's nice, isn't it? So I'm just going to tear that, going as close as I can to the edge so as I don't waste any. Like that. Okay, I like that. Now, do I want to tear it down on this edge? Probably do. Not over keen on the kind of straight edges normally, so just get rid of that. Obviously I don't mind the straight edge here because it's tucked under here. So right, let's glue this piece down. Okay. Just make sure it's kind of roughly where I want that. Okay. And then we're going to glue this one down kind of here as a side load-in pocket this side. Just want to just check what's going to happen when I close this, whether it's going to kind of catch on these bits. I don't think it is. No, it should be fine. Okay, so again, use the hot glue for speed. I'm just going to kind of pop it down like that. Okay. Oh, how cute does this look? Love these bright colours. To be honest, I love all colours. I mean, you know, I just am drawn always to colour. So, you know, I enjoyed using kind of the black and kind of ivory in the symphony orchestra. I like using, you know, the just blues in kind of the blue. Yeah, all colours really. I can't kind of say that there's any colour sort of combinations really that I don't like. Just think they always look gorgeous, all colours. Right, so I'm just having a look to see what piece I could kind of pop on here. So I've got a teacup and I've got the owls. So let's just cut out those two pieces and see which piece might look cute. So, right, now I haven't tried yet fussy cutting the owls, so not sure quite how they're going to be, but I'm going to kind of do what they call kiss cut for those, which is kind of not going right to the edge, I think. Because obviously they are quite fiddly. Not helped by the end of that branch, which is a little bit too fiddly. But again, you know, if you found that branch very fiddly, you could cut that end off, because to be honest, I don't think that actually adds anything. I may cut my end off in a moment. So I said I was kiss cutting this, and now I'm kiss cutting places and not kiss cutting other places. So, oh well, never mind. Right. Okay. Again, I'm doing this, it's actually a Sunday morning, so I'm not at my best because I've not had breakfast yet. So, but I wanted to crack on and kind of do a video quickly now. So, right, can you see I've cut off the end of that branch, and I don't think that kind of, you know, affects that in an adverse way at all. Oh, that's really cute, isn't it? Right, just going to cut this teacup out. Yes, Sunday morning. So hence my daughter obviously being downstairs with my husband, you know, making all that noise running about. The boys are still in bed asleep, so that's where they are. So we could have it kind of something like that. Quite like that. What do you guys think? That flower. I mean, I originally placed the flower there, but not so sure now. Now, do we think it's too much having the cup and the owl? Again, I'm just going to kind of stand up and look down to see whether it kind of looks too cluttered. I mean, from where I was sat, it looked really nice, but maybe it's too much. Oh, more is more. Let's just go for that. So let's pop the cup down. Trying to just, you know, not deliberate so much and just go for things. So, oops. Just put in the cup at a slight angle. Don't know really whether, you know, I needed to, but I just thought it was a fun page, so the angle kind of suited the page. We'll just pop the owls down. Like that. Okay, let me stand up so as I can get a good view. So just pop them down like that. Oh, don't they look cute? And then we've obviously got this yellow flower, which is quite pretty. I just pulled in kind of a yellow one because I just spotted it and thought actually the yellow really is quite nice. So I think we'll go for that. Now, could have this kind of over here. Up here. Or not at all, obviously. Or we could kind of just have half of it. I often quite like, you know, when it's a label-y type piece, I like it just quite often just half, like that. And then if we just bring in the lace. Again, what we could do is just have lace going down a bit of there, so as it's not quite down the whole page. That's quite nice. Yep, I quite like that, I think. And then what we could do is kind of pop maybe a little button on somewhere. So I'm going to pop this yellow flower down. It really wasn't necessary to hot glue the flower, but that was just the glue that my hand grabbed. And then I'm just going to pop this piece down. So I just want to make sure it's kind of tucked in there. So pop it like that. And that one's going to go there. So like that. And then just run some hot glue down the length of the lace. Super cute. Love how that looks. And then we're going to pop the button on, I think here. Gorgeous. Really, really cute. Okay, really cute, like that a lot. Let me check the time. 55 minutes, so that's probably all we've got time for. So I'm just deciding whether to glue that down, you see, because I might have something kind of poking out there. Probably not that, but yeah. So I'll have a think about that. So that's probably all we've got time for today, but we have kind of obviously completed a few pages. So, you know, the journal is now coming along really nicely and really pleased with how it's looking. So I hope you guys like it and think it's looking really cute. And I will see you all again another time. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks then. Bye.